Hello.
Good evening, everybody.
Ben, it's your turn.
Okay, no, I'm going to be authentic. I love the way it's like, oh my gosh, we got to do this. We got to do this. Second, the theme's over. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Good evening.
Yeah, yes, the chaos behind the scenes.
The beauty of live television.
Chaos, and we have a minute and whatever.
The boys are back.
Yes, they are.
How
Yes,
you doing,
Indigo.
John?
Yes,
I'm
Indigo.
doing great, my friend.
Silver
How are you?
Fox and Velvet Boys.
Not bad. Kayla, so how you been the
I'm
past
good.
week generally?
I'm good. I'm
Good.
doing good. The weather, so I'm going to apologize now if it pops off because we got a storm. So just keep
Mhm.
going.
So just another day in South Texas,
That's
basically.
it. That's it.
Yeah.
You're looking really good tonight, Keela.
Yeah.
You almost look like the old you.
Yeah. Your
Soon
face
as
is
my-
thinning up.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Hair
Yeah.
colors are turning to normal, which means the attitude. Yeah.
My attitude, of course, it's
That
got to come
ginger
back.
spunk.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, we have a lot of people here.
Yeah.
Hello, y'all.
Wait a minute. For starters, Ben, I blame you on the fact that YouTube keeps suggesting Logan's Run to me now. Not my fault.
What's that all about?
A squirrel.
Yeah, for some reason I had Logan's Run in my head, so I watched it. And
Oh.
why? I mean, it was kind of a decent show, but
Thank you, B.
All right. So who do we got in the chat tonight? We've got Indigo. Hello, Indigo. I am the noise operator. Fiona, our friend from Down Under, staying up late with us. We got
Miss.
Tiff and B. Hi, B. We've got Darcy's. Hello. And our dear friend Misha is popping in and out. Who else we got here?
Oh, great.
Incarnasoul. Hello. Joel McCoyne. Hello, dear sir. Nice to
Mr.
see
Joel.
you. Haven't seen you in a while. What else we got? Lori Driscoll, our Google chat friend. Let's see. Deb is here. Hello, Deb.
Hey,
Nice to see
Deb.
you.
Crystal.
Crystal's here. I don't see her.
She's at the bottom.
Oh.
I'm not touching my mouse.
Just as I am is here. Hello. Good evening. Hope everybody's having a good weekend so far. Crystal M. Hello, dear. And I think we're caught up.
And Misha, you almost didn't get to see my face. My camera went flying and everything else. So another technical difficulty.
Yeah, the sign on the door is askew from her pounding on the door, and
Yep. Not gonna lie.
It's been a night.
The red came out, Ben.
Yeah. Which one of your tanning pools were you in tonight?
None. If it would stop storming, it would be great.
Oh, that's right. You're getting rain.
Lightning.
Goodness.
Oh, it was chaotic
Yeah.
behind the scenes until we hit go live.
Always. Never a dull moment in McDonald land. All right. Well, I think we're caught up with the chat. We got kind of a tough subject to talk about tonight, but it is the month.
And we'll try not to get knocked off.
And we're going to try to not get knocked off because that doesn't happen on my watch. So,
But can I do say this, John? Can I say this? We won all of our appeals. All videos are back up. Not any good that it did any good, being that we didn't get to finish them. So, but they're up.
Well, people can still watch them in the replay crew if they'd like to, and
comment, please.
I was just having a conversation with someone earlier today about my thoughts about how we have sanitized our language to the point where certain words have become taboo. And that's really sad to me because it's difficult to talk about these topics while using these sanitized phrases. I think it hits harder when you use the actual words, but we're going to follow YouTube's guidelines and we're going to do what's
When I
going
was
on.
when I was in school, John, when I was in
Mhm.
school many, many years ago, we were taught not to use the word. Okay?
Mhm.
So you don't want to use that. The thought then was don't use that word to someone that's thinking about it, it'll push them over the edge, blah, blah, blah. That was just what we were taught.
Sure.
And then in all my refresher courses, which you have to take to keep your license, every year,
Mhm.
you have to take, um, your continuing education. And then I saw a change about 10 years ago,
Mm.
and
Mhm.
it started changing. And then now, like I said in the last, what I'm say 3, even though it was 1.
Mhm.
Thank you, Noise. Thank you. Um, it they say use the word. And then Shelby, like I said, she came in and she's in nursing school currently. In fact, poor thing, on a full moon, she had to work the psychiatric unit yesterday from 2 to 10 last night. She come in, she was like, "Oh my God." But they're teaching them now, use the word. And then my
Mhm.
continuing education for this year was use the word.
Mm.
Yeah.
Silence is hurt. Silence hurts. But
Well, see,
we obviously can't use it on here.
right. And the thing is that, we don't want to trigger anybody, obviously. And,
But
that's never our intention. But by the same token, it's difficult to explain, um, the urgency or the devastating effect that this has on people without
Mhm.
using the words. It's hard to dance around it. So
Crystal just had what she just said perfectly.
Crystal says it's better to talk about it and say the word because it's in talking about it that helps those who are thinking about it. Yes, I
It
couldn't have
is.
said that better myself, Crystal. Very good. But, we are slaves to the YouTube gods, so we are going to do our best to dance around the word while still driving home the point. So,
And Indigo had a great word last the last live we did. Extinction. Is that what you said, Indigo? Extinct? I said we got deleted. I mean, we literally did.
twice, right?
Yeah, twice.
Yeah,
Mm.
sad I wasn't there.
Oh, it was bad. Oh, I was so mad. We lost the whole
That's your
subject, but just
email.
because.
Yep.
There,
Body
this is
illusion. Hello, Lucy.
this
Sorry,
is
Ben.
something I've seen happen more in network news and things like that. But
Mhm.
there was a paper written a long time ago. I wish I could remember the philosopher's name, called Simulacra, and he was talking about how we're becoming more and more into a simulated environment, and it was ultimately a warning. And he was saying that we're not talking like Matrix level stuff, but we're just talking how things artificial terms are now replacing real terms. You go to like a log cabin for breakfast, a log cabin, restaurant or something. Chances are the wood's all fake. People on news, they're fake. They're nothing. Nothing is really showing authenticity anymore, and we're just kind of taking it. And
Yeah.
yeah, you see that with language here.
Well,
It's unfortunate.
we all
Yeah.
stood up and made our voices heard. In fact, I appealed it while we were on lives. I appealed both of them while we were
Mhm.
still sitting here, and they were both put back up before we got off
Hmm.
the third live.
Okay. I think.
I am showing my shirt because
Oh yes, do
unfortunately
that.
my camera went slinging. So,
Yes.
and yes, thank you, Indigo. Thank you. That's it. Okay. So
Mhm.
here's my shirt.
No story should end too soon. I
Yes.
like that. Very good.
Yes, Misha, I'm glad you were a part of that too.
That reminds me, I need to look in
Yeah.
your store for that one shirt that has "stay" and the saying on the back. I
Yeah, I
like
gotta
that
put
one.
it on there.
Yeah.
I need to get busy.
All right.
Thank you, Miss.
So,
All right, I'm going to be quiet. I'm not touching a mouse. I'm not touching anything. This is John and Ben's show. I'm just going to jump in if I have a question.
This is your topic.
But it's not for me to say.
All right. Well, some of this to those of you who are regular to the channel and watch all of our lives, Ben and I had done some previous shows about men's mental health. And in the course of those conversations, some of this stuff will be repeated. But I think it's important that it's repeated because these numbers are staggering. They really are. And we're not gonna bury you in minutia and data and all that stuff. We're just gonna highlight the things that jump out at us about the subject, and then we're just gonna have a frank discussion about, the men's aspect of it.
Crystal, I'm proud of you. Thank you for still being here.
Yes, absolutely, Crystal. Absolutely. So, Keila put together a little bit of research, and I've, had a chance to look at it a little bit. And some of the stuff I knew, some of it I didn't, but I'm just going to go through it real quick. So, the information that we got, and we'll put a link in the description below, is from healthdata.org, which is a reputable site. And so I trust their figures. But they say that the key findings from the research that they've done globally, that 740,000 people die from unaliving every year, where 2/3 of those deaths are in males. This means that on average, one person dies every 43 seconds. Since 1990, the world has made a lot of progress on this topic, and we've observed nearly a 40% decrease in mortality rate. However, unaliving is still the leading cause of death in many regions for 10 to 29-year-olds.
That's sad.
That is a staggering demographic. It really is. Yeah. And so we talk a little bit about the general trends that have been observed, and are there any exceptions? So the general trend that we observed is that there's been a large decline in unaliving rates worldwide over the past 3 decades, with the majority of this progress coming from regions within Southeast Asia, East Asia, and Oceania, as well as Central Europe, Eastern Europe, and Central Asia. On the other hand, there are some locations where the rate of unaliving has gone up, like Latin America and the Caribbean. We're also seeing that the mean age at which someone dies from unaliving is generally increasing. On a global scale, the mean age at the time of death in 1990 was 4.4 years younger than it was in 2021. But there are some areas in the world where the opposite is occurring. In sub-Saharan Africa, for example, the mean age of death was 45.7 in 1990, but 45 in 2021. Those are eye-opening numbers. They really are. And then they talk a little bit about the results of unaliving by firearms. That in 2021, we found that the locations with the highest rates of unaliving by firearm are Greenland, the US, Uruguay, and Venezuela, while the lowest locations were found in East Asia.
Man, also, I know that that's the subject that we're talking on.
Well, it's the next paragraph is.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry, John.
No, that's okay.
That's sad. It's men.
So globally, males use a firearm 10% of the time to unalive themselves, while females use a firearm 3% of the time. The use of firearms did not affect the mean age of death in males, but it did lower the mean age of death in females by 3 years. So they talk a little bit about what differences did you find between male and female unalivings. So some of the key differences we found are that females attempt unaliving 50% more often than males, but males are 3 times more likely to die from their attempts. Research has described this as the gender paradox, and there are several complicated factors that contribute to this difference. One of these factors is that males often choose more lethal means of unaliving. This is supported by our findings that men use firearms in 10% of unalivings, while women only use firearms in 3%. When less lethal means of unaliving are used, there can be a greater opportunity to save a person's life with medical intervention. Excuse me. So, who is especially at risk and what can be done to reduce that risk? Unaliving is a tragedy that can affect people across all geographies, ages, sexes, and socioeconomic backgrounds. No group is immune, but we see that some groups appear at a higher risk than others. In some regions, unaliving is the leading cause of death for young people. Let that sink in for a minute. The number one cause of death of young people.
Yeah.
However, the mortality rates are higher for older age groups, even though unaliving may not rank as a leading cause of death for them. It's important to remember that suicide is preventable when we are taking the right approach. The key is making sure that we tailor interventions to specific age groups we're trying to support. Prevention strategies for older ages might focus on increasing access to health care for people living with chronic conditions. But strategies for young ages might include anti-bullying campaigns.
Can I speak on that for sure?
You absolutely can, because you have more experience with this than anyone should have to.
Yeah. My forever 13-year-old grandson, cyberbullying.
And I was thinking about that a lot when I was reading this. It was,
yeah.
And you know, something that a lot of other people don't think about is that older people often look to that as a possible answer. People who live with chronic conditions for, you know, decades and are in constant pain. And, you know, oftentimes we don't think about the elderly when it comes to things like that, but it is a very real thing. And, you know, access to health care and, you know, things like that are crucial to stemming the tide of this.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Really
Misha,
is.
for putting the links in.
Oh yeah, thanks, Mish. All right, so let's see here.
Crystal had a question, John.
Oh,
it was way up, and I'm not starring because I can't. I'm not touching my mouse. So
okay. This
I'm
one?
sorry, but
Are they
yes,
also considering those who have accidents, car work related, that are actually self-inflicted? That's a good question, Crystal. I think I might have to dig a little bit deeper into that.
and noise. I would never give up on you. I wouldn't give up until the hospital gave up. Sorry, that's just me though, being a paramedic.
My attempt was by poison. Paramedics were going to give up on me because I was already long gone, but somehow here I am, survivor of 7 years.
I'm just not one of those
Bless your
paramedics
noise.
that ever give up.
No.
to my not to my greatest achievements.
B brings up a good point too, and this is something that we got into a conversation with another creator a while back that upset quite a few people. She said, unaliving us is not a coward's way out. It's mental health issues unresolved.
Yes.
Lost between the cracks of lack of mental health services.
I agree 100,000%.
Absolutely. Well, we had gotten into a conversation with another creator who said that it was a coward's way out. And while I think that can be a valid point, I think that you have to walk a mile in someone else's shoes before you can make that determination.
So before my grandson did this and was successful, I always said, and I'm going to tell you this, and I almost never use the word never and always. I don't like the extremes. I like the gray area, but I would never see it from that way. I always would say, that's the most selfish thing anybody could do until I walked in those shoes. And you will never hear me say that again.
Yeah. Well, when it's a child, how could you say that?
Well, how can you say it with anyone now? Because my brother-in-law and now, and my brother-in-law did it. My grandson. I mean, and he was 27 and he was 13. So no, I was wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But I was so jaded working and being a paramedic. I was so jaded. And
Yeah.
now, trust me when I tell you, minds and hearts can be changed
Oh yeah.
because God will make
Absolutely.
sure of it.
Absolutely. So they go on to give a breakdown of the data and statistics, and one of the things that they say is that unaliving is one of the leading causes of death in the United States. And they break it down by, well, they say, okay, I think we talked about this stat. So over 49,000 people died by unaliving in 2023 alone.
I'm going to take a guess as to why.
And that's just in the U.S.
I want to take a guess as to why. Try
Sure.
2020 and 2021, even through 2022.
Yep.
Yeah, and it's a subject that we've gone back to quite a bit, and not only in this subject, but just in the general the general changes that I've seen in the population at large since that happened. I think that we care a lot less for our fellow man. I think that we're much quicker to anger now. There are many more incidents of road rage now than there were before. And I think that, humans as a species are communal in nature. We're tribal.
That's what we're supposed to be.
We excel when we are in groups.
Yes.
And I think that all that did was isolate us and make us angry inside. And that anger has to manifest itself somehow. So when it all ended and we all came back outside, I just think everything has changed. Everything is different. This has become an ugly world.
I agree with you.
It hurts my heart. It really,
It's
and as an empath,
split.
it really hurts my heart.
And it's so split. I watched a podcast the other day, actually yesterday, and they're talking about you have a division, then you have can't use this other hand, a division over here, and then a division over here, and a division over here, and over here, and then you have subsets upon subsets upon subsets upon subsets that's just divided. We need to be knocked back together. I mean,
yeah,
9/11. It's what, the 24th year coming up.
24, yeah.
Because 9/10, and I will not be on the 10th, and I know that it is the national day. I will ask someone to come on, but I'm not going to be able to host that night because it's the 25th anniversary of my father passing away from someone else unaliving him. So I won't be here. Not being here, I just won't be able. My mind won't be able to focus. So, and his is the 25th year because his 1-year angelversary was the day before 9/11. So yeah, that's just.
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought that up, Keela, because I actually had thought about that as a compare and contrast, because think about, now, some of you may have been too young during 9/11. I mean, it was 24 years ago.
Let's live like it was 9/12.
Yeah, but the thing of it is that look at what happened in the face of that tragedy. Look at what happened. We came together as a nation.
9/12.
Yeah, we came together as a nation, and we reached out to our neighbors, and we hugged our kids a little tighter, and we told our family members that we love them just one extra time. And it felt like the whole country rallied around that, and it made us strong. And then COVID came along and did the exact opposite. It gutted us. It just gutted us.
It did.
It really did. And it's so sad because we need to get that back.
Starts in the community.
I'll give you a good example, is that there are little things that happen from time to time that give me faith in humanity. And it seems like they come along when I'm at my lowest, when I'm looking at the world around me and thinking that it's just coming apart at the seams. And then you'll see somebody do something, a small act of kindness or something like that.
I call it a little God wink.
Exactly. And it it kind of reinforces my belief that mankind is good at its core, but we just need to find that goodness in our hearts again.
Yeah.
And one of the things, I mean, we are on a perfect
we have the platform.
This platform is, and I don't necessarily mean this channel, I just mean YouTube and social media at large. We have become so angry as a society that we are using a single disagreement with a content creator or a person in a chat or somebody on Facebook or whatever to have this mentality that, well, if you don't agree with me, then I hate you. You're not worthy of my time. I'm going to smear your name all over the internet, whatever. And those kind of things have to stop because, my God, I was raised, and we're all pretty similar in age. I mean, we're all Gen X. We were raised with morals. We were given moral values by our parents.
Yes.
And those morals didn't include, if someone disagrees with you, then they're not worthy of being your friend or being part of your family or whatever. I don't know what caused us to get so far away from that, but we need to get back to it. Instead of spewing hate about each other because someone disagrees with you or they're friends with someone that you can't stand, so that means that you have to hate them now too. We were having a conversation in a different mod chat. Okay. I'm not going to call out the creator or anything, but Keela, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And the conversation was about vaccines. And I don't want to get into a long drawn out conversation about this. It's not about that. What it's about is that this was a group of people who are friends. Okay. And some people were on one side of the issue. Some people were on the other side of the issue. And some people were kind of in the middle and didn't know what to think. But we had an adult conversation. There were no ugly words thrown. Everyone spoke their mind and said what their opinion was on the subject. And we all respected each other's opinions. And we're all still friends.
Yes.
That's the important thing. I don't think less of you because you disagree with me about something. Keela grew up in the South. I grew up in the North. I'm a Northeastern boy. She's a Southern girl. There are things we don't agree on. There are things that she is very, very adamant in her heart about and feels very strongly about. And I feel very strongly in the opposite direction. But I have never had a better friend in my life than I have in this woman. And there is not anything that she could say to me that would make me just walk away. You know what I mean? We are all human beings and we are all able to have our own thoughts and our own beliefs. And those are built from, and the reason I said that I'm from the Northeast and she's from the South is because we were raised with different values.
Right.
Similar values,
right.
But also different values. So like, I'll give you an example. And again, I'm not trying to spread hate. I'm not trying to make this an ugly conversation.
No, but this is important.
But it is. It's important to understand why differences shouldn't matter when you're friends with someone. So Keela was raised in the South. She was raised in Texas. Texas, as everyone knows, is an open carry state. It's a state where people feel very strongly about the Second Amendment.
Yes.
And that's how she was raised. She probably learned how to shoot a gun at a very young age.
5 years old.
Yeah. And, I grew up in the North and my uncles were hunters, whatever. But Michigan isn't an open carry state. And only under very specific conditions can you carry a concealed weapon. And you can't carry it. You can't open carry anywhere. But I was raised differently because I was raised in that environment. She was raised in her environment. Ben, I know you live in Arizona, but were you raised there?
Yep.
You were.
Yep.
Okay.
Certainly was.
So, and a lot of parts of Arizona, now I've been to Arizona. A lot of parts of Arizona are like the Wild West too. I mean, people still walk around in cowboy hats and boots and they have guns and, whatever. So The three of us were all raised in different areas of the country with different beliefs handed down to us from our parents. But does that make any of us less than the other two because of where we were raised or the beliefs that we were given? No.
We were raised in the freest country, the
Yes.
greatest country, with the same opportunities and just more love, 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 love.
Absolutely.
Spread the love.
Absolutely.
If people spread the love as easy as they okay. Oh, Lord. Oh, okay, Frizzle, thank you. Might make me have to find that Second Amendment.
Oh, no. Okay, but see, I'm sorry, and
Frizzle,
I really am, and I preempted what I was saying
Go
because I
go ahead.
didn't wanna cause a firestorm.
No,
This is
she's not in a good headspace. She's having a really
Yeah,
rough, traumatic time, and
yeah,
check
okay.
she'll check in with me later.
Alright, take
Yeah.
care, Frizzle, please. But yeah, I wasn't bringing this up because I wanted to cause derision or
No,
any kind
you're
of
doing
division in
fine.
the community. My simple point to this is that even though the three of us are friends, and I would say we're very good friends,
Yes.
I don't hold anything against you two that you believe that differs from what I believe. I may not
And
agree with you.
same goes here.
Yeah, I may not agree with you, but I also have an open enough mind, even though I'm going to be 60 years old next month. And you would think I got the old man card now, so I can think what I want to think and screw everybody else. But my mind has always been open. And I welcome people to change my thought process
Thank
because
you.
because maybe what I was taught wasn't necessarily right. You know what I mean? So my mind can be changed very easily, and I am open to that. I am always open to that.
And this subject that we're on tonight is the exact what I was saying. I
Hmm.
spent so many years just saying that was so selfish, so selfish.
Hmm.
Boy, I'm gonna tell you something. I feel like God popped me on the head and in
Yeah.
my heart and in my soul
Well,
and
that's a
showed
hell of a
me.
way. That's a hell of a way to have it done. But
But you know what? Sometimes I mean, I believe that's my belief. Everything happens for a
everything
reason.
happens for a
And,
reason.
you
Yeah.
know, and I don't know what that reason or those reasons are. And it's
Hmm.
hard. But guess what? We can do hard things.
Yes, we can.
And I've lived my life. I believe I made it through that to make it through the next thing, to make it through the next thing, to make it to where we are
Hmm.
now. And God, we just sometimes I think we need an awakening
Yeah,
because I
exactly.
sure got one and my mind changed. So, yes,
Hmm.
John, I agree with you.
Right.
I'm open to change my mind.
Yeah.
Un-
No, go
Yes.
ahead, Ben.
oh, I was just going to say that unfortunately, I think a lot of that is just symptomatic of where society is. It's getting more and more simplistic and base. You see this represented in the vernacular in the day.
Hmm.
Hater. That one came up. Somebody disagrees. Oh, they're just the haters. It's a
Yeah.
term that's used flippantly. Okay, I get it. But
Hmm.
the thing is that is often how desensitization to the word happens. And now you can't disagree about anything, or else you're a hater.
Right.
And the
You're
problem is
other.
that language is being manipulated, and I can cite you examples where it's being manipulated the other way around.
Sure.
We're about love, and it's like, no, it's unfortunate, but that's where
Hmm.
it's going. And we there's quite a few studies that point out things like, for mental health, cities, you're
Hmm.
more was it 1,000 times more likely to develop some sort of psychopathy living in a city. And this is because bystander effect. It's just the way people are becoming. It used to be a lot different. You look even 70s television, you can see a much different
Oh yeah.
realization. People were caring for each other and things like that. I
Hmm.
mean, yeah, the bystander effect, that it's always been around to some effect, to some
Yeah, we were
degree.
taught, especially CPR, like don't say or something on fire. Don't say, hey, somebody call 911. You
Hmm.
point to
Yeah,
them.
You point to that person, you
You
say,
call
"You call
yeah,
911.
yeah.
911."
Yeah.
You go and get the defibrillator. Yeah.
Yes.
And that's something that they trained us. I've taken, what do they call it? First responder training, for several years now. And yeah, that's the first thing they taught you. You have to take charge of the situation. You have to point out to each person what their job is and direct the flow.
And I'm going to say this on men's mental health, going back to that about the topic is, I think, and I'm not, this is going to be taken so wrong. So get ready for the clips and the shorts. I'm just going to say it because I'm tired of holding my tongue. Women need to pay attention to their men.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. It's the truth. Women need to pay attention because they don't show the signs.
Yeah. Men suffer in silence a lot of the time because that's what we're taught. That's what we're supposed to do.
Put your bootstraps up and get to work,
And I'm sorry, I don't want the people in the chat to think that, we came on here to talk about one thing and we're talking about something else. It is tied together, and I'm going to tie it up in a little bow here real quick. So what my point is in all of this is that we spend so much time focusing on isolating ourselves from other people and isolating ourselves from groups of people who disagree with our way of looking at the world. And all that does is further isolate us from our tribes. And as human beings, we are, for lack of a better term, we are animals. And we are animals that are programmed to do well when we are in packs and we were in communities. And all COVID did was drive us apart more. And to the point where now, I think, because I looked at the charts, Keela, that you sent me, and every chart that I saw shows a steady decline in the rates, a very precipitous decline in the rates of unaliving. And that should be a positive thing. It really should. But we're seeing a scary trend start to develop since COVID ended. And that is that people they feel more and more isolated. They feel more and more alone. And they feel like they can't talk to people because they're afraid that they'll be judged as an other or a hater or whatever, and even further isolated. And excuse me. So, and the stats that I have right now are going to kind of drive that home. So we talked about this before. Over 49,000 people died by unaliving in 2023. That's one death every 11 minutes. Think about that for a second. And that's just in the United States. That's not worldwide.
We've been on 39 minutes.
Yeah. 3 people have died. Many adults think about unaliving or attempting it. 12.8 million people worldwide have seriously thought about it. Almost 13 million people have at least thought about it. 3.7 million have actually made a plan. And 1.5 million have actually attempted. That is crazy. It is. And I honestly think now, I am not a professional, okay? I do not profess to be one. I am just a man who speaks from his own experiences. But I can tell you that there has to be a direct correlation from this point in time and how lonely people feel and how isolated people feel from one another, that these incidences are going to start to climb again. And, I am not a statistician. I can't show you the direct correlation. All I can show you is what I see with my own 2 eyes. And, I'm a public facing person. I spend a lot of time, in my job working with people. And I see it on a daily basis. I hear it in conversations that I have with people. People feel more and more alone every day. And all that does is feed those feelings. So maybe the numbers don't bear it out quite yet, but I'm afraid that soon they're going to start to go on the uptick again. And that's why we're here. We want to talk about this. We want to talk about resources and things that people can do. Ben and I have been on here and we've talked about this before when we talk about men's mental health issues. And it's just as simple as, am I my brother's keeper? Yes, I am. If Ben is having a hard time, he knows that he can reach out to me at any time and that I will not judge him. And I know the same of him. And I also know that of Keela. Keela's a woman, but still, she knows because she's been through this shit before. She knows how important it is to be a set of ears, if nothing else. When a person is in trouble and they have no one else to talk to, I can always count on her, always. And she does not judge me. She does not say, you're a man, you should suck it up. Why are you being so soft? Or I never get that from her, ever. And there are many people in this chat. Indigo is one. B is one. I mean, I can rattle off so many names. Misha. There are so many people. Lucy. There are so many people that if I'm having a bad time and I just need to talk to somebody, I know that those people are here for me always.
Tomas, thank you for. I'm sorry, John. Tomas just came in, and I wanted to say thank you, Tomas. Thank you for being here.
Hello, sir.
He's been going through it too.
Yeah. And the thing is I want everyone to know, whether you're a man or a woman, I have been through it. Keela has been through it. Ben has been through it. We are here. If you need to talk to somebody and you don't know where to turn, we are here for you. And I don't want anybody to doubt that ever. And there are so many of you in this community that I have either reached out to at one point or another, or I have let you cry on my shoulder. That is why this is a community, and it will always continue to be that as long as we hold that to our hearts and we love this community for what it actually is. There are people out there, and we say, all the time, haters, and I put it in quotes because I hate using the phrase. I really do
too, because
we're grouping people up.
Well, Violet just said something that got me. She's like, it stops the conversation.
Yeah. Dead in its tracks. Just stops it dead. Yeah. And we have to stop doing that. We have to stop doing it as creators. We have to stop doing it as chatters. We have to stop doing it as community members. We have to stop doing it as neighbors. We just have to stop.
I've had to practice to let them a lot lately.
Yeah, absolutely. And so we say this a lot, but this community is everything to us. It really is.
Definitely.
It is. It is the reason why we do what we do. And we are going to continue to do it despite what other people may say. We don't come on here and profess to be professionals. We are not trying to give you advice. We are just trying to give you the tools to get through the day and to get through these times when the world feels like it's closing in around you, because we know what that feels like. And we don't want anybody to ever feel like that. So that's our mission. And, you can take that for what it is, but that's how we all feel.
Yep. Ben?
I'm sorry to speak for both of you, but I know you both feel the same way I do about this. So
you're exactly right. Ben?
Yeah, unless we can agree.
Yeah. That was one of the things about the term hater, because what it does, and it's exactly what you guys proposed, is it's designed the way in which it's used. It's designed to, shut down a conversation, because you call somebody a hater. Well, hate is an emotion.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And it takes it down to, you're just being emotional. You don't have anything substantive to say. It takes everything down from possibly a good argument about, have you considered, have you thought about. It just takes it down to, I'm right. You don't know what you're talking about. You're being emotional. It's gaslighting in the extreme.
Yeah.
It really is. And that's what it's designed to do. It'd be like, there was a term that was used. I'm not even sure you can even say it. The R word. And I don't mean the physical act, but calling somebody who hates other races. That was the same thing. It's just designed to silence people. It's thrown around in context, which is never intended. You see it happening in schools now with teachers. teachers are trying to teach, and I understand there's issues in schools today that, fine. I'm admitting that, but at the same time, you see it working into the zeitgeist or in popular culture, where this is what you do whenever you have a disagreement or somebody. If you just don't want to do something, you just call somebody a hater. I don't want to do it. You're a hater. Yeah, and you can see tons of examples of this on body cams
Oh
from
yeah.
young people. You see it with how little people are able to control emotions now. I mean, getting a ticket, okay, you know what? Yeah, it sucks. I've been there. $100, $200, maybe, depending, whatever. Okay, fine. I get that, but it's not the end of the world.
Right.
But you see that people, and because what's happening is people, it's like a glass where people's emotional loads are, they're already, you're not starting out with an empty glass. You're starting out with a glass that's almost full. And it just takes some random event, some negative assignment of what would be an otherwise ambiguous event, and then all of a sudden everything is going wrong, and it's really easy to get in that mindset.
Did you see the video that I saw today on one of the podcasts? They were well, no, it was one on the YouTube channels, but it was from TikTok, I think, about the father going absolute berserk at a youth football game on the police.
No, but I've seen it. I've seen it enough times that
yeah, and it's just like the police were just like asking him to please move to the side. The woman told her side. Who knows what happened before? Who knows? They each had their own sides, but like she wasn't causing the issue in front of the children. That was my issue. The children were watching all of this, and
right. That's the thing that blows my mind is that
people just not think.
Yeah, do we not understand that our children are literally watching us and they're learning that behavior? So
Joel,
that's why it's so important to change it.
Joel, I've been thinking and praying for peace for you, and I know you've had a long week, and I appreciate you being here.
Oh, Joel.
And thank you so much for being here, even after everything y'all have went through. I appreciate you being here.
Prayers for you and your family, Joel. I'm so sorry.
His dad was 2 months from 100 years old.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. So in this conversation, we're talking about, the male perspective and all this, but I thought it was important to talk about it in general first, because this is not, the same way we talk about politics. This is not and I said this the other day too. This is not a black issue or a white issue or a young issue or an old issue. It doesn't matter your politics. This is a human issue.
Thank you.
It doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman or a child or whatever. We're all affected by it. And while we want to focus a little bit on the male perspective in this particular chat, it's important to talk about it in general.
Yeah.
So that's why we did that. So some statistics that we pulled up with the help of Gemini, our dear friend.
Oh, yes.
So
that's my best friend.
Yeah. So this is U.S. statistics. This is based on 2023 data. So it's a couple years old, but disparity. The male unaliving rate is approximately 4 times higher than the rate for females. While men make up about half of the population, they account for nearly 80% of all unaliving deaths. In 2023, over 39,000 men died by unaliving. Just in the U.S. 39,000 men. Age-adjusted rate. The age-adjusted unaliving rate for males in 2023 was 22.7 per 100,000, compared to 5.9 per 100,000 for females.
Wow.
Unaliving rates are highest among older men. This was a really surprising stat for me. Unaliving rates are highest among older men, with the highest rates found in those aged 85 and older. However, rates remain consistently high across most age groups for men between 25 and 64. Now, obviously, with men 85 and older, we know that this is what we were talking about before. limited access to healthcare, chronic pain, just wanting it to be over, but not necessarily having the resources to minimize that pain and give you a better quality of life.
Right.
So I think that's a huge part of that number. But it's the leading cause of death for men under the age of 50.
That's why I said women pay attention to any slight change. And then I say that, John, and I can't say that. I mean, I'm saying that, but how do I say that? My brother-in-law literally went to sleep that night and kissed my sister. I mean, they'd only been married 10 months. It's my baby sister. Kissed her goodnight, told her he loved her, went in there to watch a movie on TV because he wasn't ready to go to sleep yet. She woke up the next morning on Sunday morning to go to church and walked outside, the garage door open. I'm not going to go any farther than that, but let's just say it wasn't good. My sister's never going to recover from that. And then there was no signs. There were no signs. Everybody can say there's always signs. No, there's not.
Not always.
There's not. I say pay attention. Yes, pay attention, because if you can find a sign to save somebody, save them. But there were no signs for my 13-year-old. Dylan did not give us any signs whatsoever. Any. There was no signs.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry about the barking dog. My grand dog is barking because it's storming like crazy.
No, it's okay.
I can hear it.
Totally understandable. So we've talked about the statistics, and I think we need to talk about some of the key factors contributing to that disparity. And we've already started to a little bit, but method choice. A significant factor in the gender paradox of unaliving is that men are more likely to use highly lethal means, such as firearms, which leads to a higher rate of death from unaliving attempts.
Yeah, because when they do it, they're going to do it.
They're going to do it, right? Help-seeking behavior. Men are less likely to seek professional mental health assistance, which may contribute to a lack of intervention and support before a crisis. And we've talked about this before. I mean, this isn't a new topic. Ben and I have talked a lot about, men just are much less open to therapy and things like that, just because of, societal norms.
The stigma and the stigma. Tomas was just saying that.
Well, yeah, absolutely. And so help-seeking behavior. Men are less likely to seek professional mental health assistance. Societal norms. Traditional gender roles may discourage men from expressing vulnerability or seeking help for emotional distress, leading to silent suffering. This is another topic that Ben and I have talked a lot about. We are raised that boys don't cry, that real men don't cry, that we don't express our feelings, that we suck it up, that we pull ourselves up by our bootstraps. Whatever cliche you want to use, it is real in this society. It is how men are raised. We are supposed to be hunter-gatherers, and that is our role. We are not supposed to talk about our feelings with each other, with our significant others. It's just not something we're taught to do.
Hang on. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm going to try to use my arm here, Mish.
Okay.
Mish just sent something to share.
But it's
Mish, you might have to come back. I don't know if I can do it.
It's very, very important that we change that mindset. And like I say, and I say this, I've said this in a couple of lives. I've said it in this live. I am a friend to all of my male friends, and I will never judge any of them ever for expressing their feelings. We need to stop as men. We need to stop judging each other, and we just need to listen. Imagine your best friend is here one day and gone the next.
Oh my God.
You will beat yourself up for the rest of your life because you didn't see the signs or you didn't know how to react. And it could have been just as simple as sitting down, having a beer with this friend and listening to them, letting them cry on your shoulder. It can be as simple as that, guys. It's not rocket science. It really isn't. When someone is in trouble and they need help, just being there can oftentimes be enough.
An ear, someone you want to be heard.
Mm-hmm.
And men are not going to go, most men are not going to go to their wife or their girlfriend.
No.
What are they going to do? Hey, bud, let's go have a beer. Even that is a sign of, hey, can we talk?
Mm-hmm.
You don't know what kind of life that might change right there. Just by saying, yeah, bud, let's go talk.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And yeah, I think societal norms, that's one of the biggest things. And that's why oftentimes men will suffer in silence. And we need to turn that around. We really do. And not just with men, with everyone, with our children,
Yes.
with our wives, with our girlfriends, with, this is, like I said, this is not a male, female, young, old thing. This is a human thing. And we really need to start focusing on ourselves as human beings and getting ourselves back to being that community that we need as humans to thrive, not just survive. Sorry, Susie, I had to steal that from
you. Ben, okay, so I have a question. Like me, I don't get out of the house unless I'm got to go to Houston. I literally don't leave my house. I haven't left my house since last month when I went to Houston. Literally haven't stepped outside my house. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't even gotten a tanner pool. I haven't done anything. I haven't stepped outside to even see the sunshine.
Mm-hmm.
My mom had to bring my niece to see me today. Y'all are my family. Y'all are what I have. Daryl's home. He's still off work, so he's here. And God bless him for everything he's done for me. Besides him and our conversations and my conversations with the dogs, that's it. Y'all are who I have.
Mm-hmm.
Just so you know how important you are to me.
Well, you are that important to us as well, Killa. You know that too.
Come on, Ned. Ned has some very important information.
She's there. Do you want me to bring her up?
She can bring it up. She can bring herself up.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. We're not the only ones with the power.
No, she's got the power.
Hey, all right, now we need to start reading super chats.
We got some comments started. Thank you, everybody, for your super chats. We have not ignored them. We do see them. We're just trying to get through this. I promise.
I've been starring the whole live, so
I haven't touched the mouse.
Part of being
the power.
part of having an ADHD brain is being able to multitask. So it's
she's got the power.
Broke. My autopilot said, "Forget you. You have misused me your entire life. I'm done."
I'm just happy to hear your voice, Mish. It feels like forever since I've talked to you.
I know. It feels like forever I've been hiding out a lot. My computer went down, so I'm just now trying to get built back up. What I want to show is I went through the other day and sidetracked and didn't get it put out, and I apologize for that. But I do have this guide, and it has just about anything and everything that you might find. And if it's not on there, let me know and we'll put it on there.
Mm-hmm.
But this is different things that, like, if you feel more comfortable going to this area, chances are it's going to be here. And like I said, if it's not, let me know and it will be. But there's going to be a link
resources.
Yes.
Oh, tons of resources. I've got them pulled up over here. I just couldn't get them to there.
Yeah.
But we will put them in the Facebook group.
Yeah, absolutely.
We need to post that on the community post also.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I can get somebody to do that for me, I would greatly appreciate it. I will put the link in the description.
Mods, we're flashing the bat signal.
Mods.
You're right.
Yeah.
All right, guys. I really do have to go, but
it's storming like crazy here.
All right, Nish, take care.
I love you.
Take care, be safe. Love you. All right, let's read some comments. Thanks, everybody, for being so patient and not being judgmental, because I know I've brought up a couple of topics that are kind of taboo, but I brought them up in context of something else. So they are serving a greater purpose, not to, just cause division. And
one of the big... Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, one of the big disservices that I've seen in regards to this issue, we can all think of pop psychologists who have said things like, "Oh, it's anger turns inward." It's this massive oversimplification of it. Sometimes it could be. Sometimes it it could be a feeling of complete and utter hopelessness. Sometimes it could be about freedom. It depends upon what drives that person. We all have different values that drive us. Some of us are driven by freedom. Some of us are driven by tribe. Some of us are. There's a gazillion things that go into somebody doing this. A lot of times it's physical pain, where the physical pain or somebody going through it, that is the pain of continuing is worse than the pain of ending it. So I think it was just one of those things that I think it's been a little bit of a disservice of trying to oversimplify it, because I really don't know the primary reason for it, but I think that is not always the best policy to do that, because unless you know the person, there are instances of it.
Sure.
A lot of people, it's just complete loss of options, complete loss of control, complete loss of any kind of future, and people get spun down into this. We do it. We don't necessarily take it to that level, but unless you've been, as was one of the comments here, unless you've been in somebody else's shoes, I don't know all the things that are driving them. And sometimes just being warm, as simple as it is, sometimes just being a warm body. If you're not particularly skilled in it, sometimes just being an outlet for that person to, hey, I feel like, I think, there appears to be something bugging you. What, just helping them, if you don't want to get into the weeds, and fine, just helping them unload some of that emotional, part of that emotional glass we were talking about earlier, helping them get rid of some of it. But when you're talking to people like that, it's important to first and foremost just remain calm.
And one of the things that I can't necessarily speak for you, Ben, because we haven't had a lot of conversations about this, but I can speak for Keela and I. One of the things that makes us absolutely crazy is how quickly people become armchair psychologists when something tragic happens. Like I'll use the recent rash of shootings as an example.
Yeah.
And again, this is a hot button topic, but I'm not.
I did a whole live on it, and I'm not standing.
I'm not standing on one side of the issue or the other. I'm only bringing it up to say that people are so quick to judge. Oh, well, that person was mentally ill. They immediately
first thing that comes out.
Yeah, they immediately go to that immediately. And yes, maybe in a lot of cases that is true, but you can't, and like the unaliving thing, even though the statistics are so overwhelming, you cannot pigeonhole. You take two instances of people who have unalived themselves. Those are two completely different and unique situations. One might have been a person who has had chronic pain for decades and just can't anymore. The other person might be someone who served, in our military and witnessed things that just overwhelmed them. I mean, there's,
I'm sorry. I forgot to, did the statistics on veterans on there? I meant to send that to you.
I was looking for that, and I did not see anything about
I'm
veterans.
looking for that. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
But we know that those numbers are going to be astronomically high as well. And I kind of went, let me go through the statistics again real quick and see if I missed it.
I thought I did, but then I think it might have been on last time and I'm honest to God, y'all, I'm going to tell y'all, I didn't prepare all the stuff that we had prepared the last time when we got knocked off 3 times or twice, I mean, it was just, I felt like it was not even, I mean, it was worth it, but it took me all day long.
Yeah. You did a lot of,
couldn't even get a steady conversation going.
Right. And this time I didn't want to bury people in statistics. We just wanted to have a conversation. And so I like that we did that, but no, I don't see anything about.
Okay. I'm pulling it up. Go ahead. I did not mean to interrupt.
No, that's okay.
And that is one thing too when it comes to veterans. When the police officers involved in some sort of, where there's deadly force used,
Oh,
they
first
have to go through psychological,
Yeah.
evaluations and therapy and stuff like that.
Yeah.
When you have a service member who was part of a squad that, I mean, there's been some battles that, like 40 operators took down, 400. That still has an effect, even though they can see them as the enemy and this and that. Just the act of going through it, that could still have an effect. So yeah, you could bring these service members home, and in that instance, everyone, 10-1.
Messenger, John.
Okay.
It's I pulled this up, and it's not 2025, obviously, because we're not through with 2025. I tried to find the closest. I can attest to first responders. We lose a lot.
Yeah. All right. So here's the most up-to-date information on veteran unaliving rates in the U.S. based on available data. Please note that information for 2025 is not yet available. So what's known through 2022? This is the latest confirmed data. According to a RAND study, in 2022, the unaliving rate among veterans was 34.7 per 100,000, compared with 17.1 per 100,000 for non-veterans. That's almost it's over twice. The U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs reported 6,407 veteran unalivings in 2022, an average of 17 to 17 and a half per day.
That is way too many.
Thus, the most recent official national unaliving metrics for veterans represent events up to and including the year 2022. Although data for 2023 and 2024 haven't been fully compiled or released as of September 7th, 2025, some context from recent reports. And again, this is gender specific. So female veterans saw a 24.1% decrease in age adjusted unaliving rates. Male veterans saw a 1.6% increase in age adjusted rates. And from a broader perspective, a recent RAND commentary noted that veteran unalivings continue to be a critical problem, claiming more than 6,000 lives per year. Though the year reference is not specifically defined, it's likely based on 2022 data.
This is just too much.
And again, this is because there aren't enough viable options for veterans, places that they can go, people that they can talk to, people that they can feel comfortable talking to.
Yeah, who would understand?
Yeah, who would understand except another veteran who had been through the same thing.
Anyway, I'm sorry. I didn't go to the start now.
No, but it's tragic, and it needs to be brought up because it's part of a bigger problem. It really is.
Yeah.
All right, let's read some super chats. So Indigo says, my main thought in my moment was the pain would end. That was the main goal for me. I just couldn't see past that point in time, but I'm lucky I didn't end up hospitalized. So are we, Indigo?
Yes, Indigo. I'm glad you're here.
And that's a really big thing to also keep in mind is that a lot of times, you know what, you're not going to be successful, and that, as unimaginable to somebody who's in that circumstance, because the amount of pain they're in, no matter what the cause, no matter what the pain, be it loss of freedom, seeing no way out, physical, mental pain, whatever.
Yeah.
You could actually be worse off, and that's, I don't know why I brought it up, but I suppose just to say that, a lot of these methods, they aren't quite as advertised, that you can wind up doing serious damage to yourself. Unintentional, it's not just a simple on-off, like either you're successful or you're not. There's this big zone in between where you have permanent liver damage, permanent kidney damage, permanent brain damage, because there's been people who survived all sorts of things.
Absolutely.
And, even males who, tried to take the most extreme solution. And it happens. It really does. And yeah, I don't want to sign anything morbid, so I'll just
No, I mean, yeah, it has not talked about. That's the problem.
That's
Thank
the
you,
thing.
Ben. Thank you.
Absolutely. We need to bring it up. Deb says, my son has told me he's so tired and cannot see a future, and he feels all he is a burden, and that makes him think of unaliving himself, and it destroys me that he feels that way.
And then there's another one where he feels like, and then this is common with older males too, the extreme, where it's like, oh my gosh, I have all this stuff wrong with me. This is going to destroy my family. All the money paid out. We're on retirement. We don't get that much. And there's been quite a few cases where that was, and then unfortunately, these people don't realize that life, I don't know. Well, I hesitate to bring it up, but I will anyway. Life insurance does not pay out in cases where that happens. And that's just, I don't know if that's something that was on TV, but it's common for that to come up. I don't want to be a burden. And they think that, you know what, I have this and this and this going on. I am such a burden to my family. Out of love for them.
Yeah. Not realizing that in death, they're going to end up being more of a burden because there's no life insurance anymore. There's no support. And, and like we said before, excuse me, because people judge so much about that, that that was a selfish thing for them to do and blah, blah, blah. That creates a whole, another sense of isolation for the surviving family members.
Yeah.
Because now what they think about, whatever morality they want to put to what that person did is now going to be placed on the family members of that person, like they deserve it, and it's really sad. Yeah. Deb, I hope that we can get some resources for your son.
This page of resources, Deb, I hope helps because there's a lot. Did they post the link?
I'm not sure, but if not, Deb, please reach out to one of us and we will get you that information. Absolutely.
One big thing that really helps with people going through a situation like this, where they feel like, oh my, whatever the situation is, whatever the cause may be, whatever the feeding is, believe it or not, a simple validation. People need to be validated. They feel like, and I think that's part of the disservice if you go in there with a cookie cutter,
approach.
This is anger turned inward, and what are you angry about? Like, I'm not angry. I'm feeling hopeless.
Right.
Aren't you listening to what I'm saying? That's a big thing, is just to listen. With the what do they call that? Active listening.
Don't listen to respond.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. Because to understand.
Right. Because judgment minimizes it. It really does.
Yeah. And that's another big point of de-escalation, is as hard as it is.
Yeah.
Leave judgment at the door.
Yeah. So Mish says, wish this world would just stop pointing fingers so much and instead try to find ways to alleviate pressures of this world by trying to see through other people's lenses. Exactly.
I think we've
exactly what
this world is
exactly what we're trying
blind.
To say. Yeah. Indigo says the statistics of family members following suit is higher because of the pain and loss. It's why offering mental health help and support to families and friends is so important.
Indigo, I stayed with my sister 2 weeks, every day, every night. She would never go back in her house. We moved all her stuff out of her house for her. She stayed with my other sister, Stephanie, and I stayed there I never left her side for 2 weeks straight after her husband did this. But I can tell you this. Then I drove her to Houston, watch her get on a plane and fly to a friend that was in Jamaica. And I made sure when her plane got there that I was called and that he had her. It was her best friend, one of her best friends. And he wanted her just to get her out away from here because while she was gone, we packed up her house. We put her house on the market. She would never walk back on that property.
Yeah.
So yes, you're right. But we never left her side.
Ned says, my God, I could not imagine this world without all of you. So thankful for you, and you matter.
Yes.
You do as well. Indigo says also not isolating older folks in homes away from family and community. Yep. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's because younger brains can't conceptualize the idea that the future will be better. They are so locked in emotionally and mentally to daily minutia. That's very true. And, the bullying thing, we don't talk enough about that, but it has become an epidemic in this country. It really has, to the point where, now we have the internet, so we have cyberbullying on top of everything else. So it's not just enough to pick on somebody to their face, but now you have to smear them to everyone, their friends, their family, everyone. So, it's no wonder that the incidence among young people is climbing at such an alarming rate. Frizzle says, I'm all good. Just am having a good night and don't need to bring myself down. Apollonia, and I got a pie. Well, good for you. Enjoy your night, Frizzle. Indigo says, it makes sense. Over time and learning different perspectives, I have also changed my opinion on an issue. Yeah.
Yeah, just listen.
And like I said, it was so refreshing to sit in a room, a room, full of people and have an intelligent adult conversation, and nobody was calling names. Nobody was saying you're wrong. We were just respectful of each other's opinions.
Yeah.
And everybody made good points. They really did. And I walked away from that conversation actually feeling stronger about my friendships with those people and not worse, if that makes sense. And
no, it makes 100% sense.
Because I want to surround myself with people who aren't afraid to speak their minds, but I also want to surround myself with people whose minds are open to facts. And that's another thing, and that's something we haven't brought up yet, is that for some reason, facts have become dangerous now. Facts have become a third rail, and I don't know when it happened, but facts are exactly that. Facts.
They're
you
facts.
Can't dispute them. But yet we're finding a way to dispute them now.
Every day.
And yeah, that is very unhealthy for us as a society. It just really is.
One thing that also kind of may feed this, may not. It depends upon the person. But we also have an issue where, think about something you're ashamed about, whatever it is, just whatever pops into your head.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, when you do that, a lot of times you can feel your jaw start to tighten. You can feel your shoulders start to come up.
Absolutely.
You can feel a pounding here.
Yeah.
And the thing is, if one of your friends came to you, whatever that is, whatever you're thinking of, if one of your friends came to you and said, hey, I did this, will you forgive me? I'm sorry.
Hey, T.
And more than likely we would,
sure.
Most of us, no problem. And the thing is, we don't forgive ourselves for it. We don't, and I think that can be a really healthy step to just sit back and, tell yourself, what, yeah, I'm remembering this. And, the thing is, carrying guilt and shame, it doesn't make you a good person. A lot of people will say, oh my gosh, but it means I have a moral standard. No, it means that you're choosing drama over having to step up and forgive yourself and move on.
Bingo.
And oftentimes what it takes is just a caring attitude to be able to tell yourself, you know what, I forgive you. Just calmly think about it and just say to yourself, I forgive you for that. Because none of us have gone through life where we haven't, all of us are beating ourselves up for something. And you know what? When you forgive that, something else will pop up. And it's a part of becoming authentic, because I guarantee you other people will see that unforgiveness. They won't pick up on what it is, but it leaks.
It does, just like spreading kindness and love. You spread that, you forgive for yourself, not for other people. But when you forgive yourself and relieve that pressure, that's pressure that's not on you. And you're right, and it's going to leak. You're going to be. You're right, exactly.
I'm gonna channel my inner Misha here, and I'm gonna say that one pebble can make huge ripples.
Yes.
And it goes back to something that I say a lot of times and beat into the ground, is that don't ever think that one person can't change the world, because you know why? It's the only thing that ever has.
It's the only thing that ever did.
So think about that.
Yeah.
Mish says, we are honestly more blessed than any of us realized. We have found the best of the bestest peeps in the whole widest world. We found each other.
Yes.
Yes, we did, Mish. And we don't ever take that for granted.
No.
Frizzle, don't tell Ben about the pie. He loves his pie. Too late. If all these people can hate for no reason, I can love for mine. Amen, sister.
Yes.
Amen. Tiff says loving is a superpower. Yes, it is.
Yes, Tiff.
Certainly is. Lord Kiss Freak, Misha, it's Harley's birthday today. She turned 17. Well, happy birthday, Harley.
I think she left already. I think.
But that's great. Chaos, Tomas. Happy Feed Your Rainbows and Ponies Day. Thank you, Tomas.
Yes, that was on the last 3 that we Rainbows and Ponies.
Mish says depression is a complex condition with many potential causes, including genetics, brain structure and connections, life events, and faulty mood regulation, or any combination of those.
Or any combination, yeah.
Absolutely.
Situational depression.
There's nothing wrong with us because we are feeling some kind of way. The problem is when we stop fighting or caring. Absolutely.
And that's another issue that comes up a lot of times is mainstream press, because you know what gets the most clicks, what gets
they fan the flames.
Attention.
Yeah.
Yes.
Drama sells, bro. We say it all the time.
Yeah, because two things sell. It's either they're laughing, which news stations can't do well, or oh my God, causing fear. Oh my God, this is going to happen. I've got to stay glued to insert channel name.
So Keela lives in the South, and you live in the on the face of the sun. Up here in the North, we have a funny little meme that happens every year. So there's always like this huge monster storm coming, this blizzard, and they call it Snowmageddon, and they have theme music for it and everything, and then we get 2 inches of snow.
Well, right now we're getting way more than 2 inches of rain because it's storming out there.
But I mean, it's just everything is like the end of the world. This is the snowstorm to end all snowstorms, you know. It's like, oh my God, in our quest to make everything the biggest it's ever been. Tiff says, once you become one of my sweethearts, you can't get rid of me. Well, thank you, Tiff.
You can't get rid of us either, Tiff.
Facebook Mom says depression and mental health in general is affected by all parts of the body, brain, gut, and everything else.
Gut health
can't be separated. Oh yeah, you got 2 advocates for gut health here. I'll tell
you. Yeah, gut health is very important.
Yes. Fiona says it's also how people react to somebody who has made an attempt. It's like when you're grieving, people don't know what to say or how to interact with the person who survived their attempt.
Talk about it.
Talk
about it. Silence is silence kills. Silence kills. Talk about it. Use the words.
Yeah,
all the words.
And like I was saying before, I mean, people can be so judgmental. You know, you might have a failed attempt, and then instead of people being afraid to talk about it with you, they are angry with you or even attempting it. And that just creates even further isolation. So maybe that next attempt, you know, is successful.
Yeah.
And that's really sad.
A lot of times, one of the things, if you're trying to de-escalate somebody, be calm, try to shoulders down, try to listen,
relax the jaw, open your arms, body stance, body language.
Crystal, say it with me. Right hand, left shoulder. Left hand, right shoulder. Close your eyes and squeeze.
Yeah.
We call that the crystal hug.
Yes.
There's another.
It's magic.
There's another technique too. If you can get them to agree with if you can get somebody to agree with you, chances are they will continue to agree with you. Okay, and this is used in. Oh my gosh, this is used anti-terrorism. This is using all sorts of training.
Sure.
So what you can do is you can say, okay, well, I realize that you're really having a real big issue with this. You know what?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I don't know. I may not know how to solve it, but you know what? I will
Mm-hmm.
give you a hand with this. And it's Saturday evening. You know what? It's warm outside. It's supposed to rain pretty soon. So how about we just go outside and just breathe and talk about this and just try to calm down. Because what will happen is, as they agree with you, it's Saturday night, it's warm outside, it's
Full
supposed to
moon.
rain later, and then you can keep doing that, and that's a
well, some people might think this is silly, Ben, but we were talking about this earlier. We were talking about you and I watch a lot of police body cam videos on YouTube, and I can't think of a better example of the best and the worst trained law enforcement people at de-escalating. You see both ends of the spectrum. I mean, I saw one last night that just blew my mind. It was an older gentleman. It kind of plays into exactly what we were talking about. He had a lot of chronic pain, and he just wanted it to end. So he drove himself up to a hill. I don't want to get too graphic because it's very trigger inducing, but he was about to attempt, and somebody called the police, and the police got there, and this one officer talked to him the entire time, and he said, why won't you just let me die? I don't want anybody to get hurt. I just want the pain to stop. And this man, I mean, his de-escalation skills were perfect.
Yeah.
And he said, don't pay attention to them. Talk to me. And he talked in a very calming tone. And he said, I'm not leaving. I'm going with you. They put him on a stretcher. They put him in an ambulance. The police officer got in the ambulance with him. He said, please promise me you won't leave. He said, I'm not going anywhere, buddy. I'm right here with you. And by the end, that poor man was just sobbing that somebody, because in his experience, no one cared about his pain. No one cared. So he just wanted to end it. And this single act by this police officer and the training that taught him how to de-escalate that situation, he had that man in the palm of his hand by the end of that confrontation. And it was so heartwarming to watch. And then you see other examples of the extreme the other way, where either they don't use their training or they just throw it aside in certain situations. And it's a real shame. It's a real shame. It really is.
That first instance, that was Prescott, right?
Yes. Yeah, it was. Yeah, you have seen that.
I think y'all have rubbed off on Shelby, because when I was watching the police cam footage today on YouTube, she walked in, she was getting ready to go to her Lamar game, and she said, she came and she goes, hey, you're watching my bedtime sleep stories. I said,
that's what I do. I watch it an hour before I go to bed every night.
Yeah,
I really do. Tomas says it's a losing battle being a man with mental health issues. Too many stigmas and stereotypes. That's right, Tomas. But we're trying to bust those.
The battle. Guess what?
Yeah, we're gonna bust those stigmas.
To advocate and win.
We're gonna keep talking about it, and people are gonna listen.
A lot of times, trauma just wants to be seen. That's one thing. That's one thing that we're actually horrible about.
Yeah.
We as people, we want to be seen. We want to be heard. And one of the most invalid, one of the things that just destroys people quickly is not being validated, and how important that is. Even in really small, there are tons of instances where learning. Okay, you're growing up in school. You get called to the front of the class, you make a bad example on the board. What you learn from that is people aren't safe. It's not safe to voice my opinion. It's not. And that minor instance of how the teacher handles it can drastically affect somebody.
It can send a kid. Life. It can send a kid through a spiral that never ends. Absolutely.
Yeah, and you're always feeling some effect of it.
Yeah.
And
Indigo
yeah,
says,
oh, go ahead.
no, I didn't mean to cut you off. Indigo says, what I noticed, giving an open, judgment-free zone to feel at their own pace, it really helps. It's the judgment that men fear from what I've seen. Yep, absolutely.
Yeah,
I can speak from experience on that. Yep.
And that goes to public speaking. It's not public speaking people are afraid of it. They're really not. They're afraid of the social judgment they will face.
They're afraid of the judgment.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And that goes back to school.
Yep. Tomas says, because unfortunately, a lot of women see it as a weakness. If you open up or share, if you're in a fragile state of mind, speaking from experience, stereotypes again. Absolutely, Tomas. You make very good points. And that's what we're trying to break those stigmas.
That Dax wrote, be a man.
Yeah. I really like that.
I do too. That one and now it's Lonely Road, or is that what it's called? Lonely Road?
I think so.
Yeah.
I know the one you're talking about. Fiona says, if we don't start conversations like this, nothing can change. Exactly, Fiona. And these are hard conversations to have, guys. I know it. We know that these are difficult conversations to have, but that's why it's so important to have them. We can't just keep turning a blind eye to this stuff. We can't. Nothing will ever change.
Thank you.
B, thank you. Just a reminder, in case your mind is playing tricks on you today, you matter. You're important. You are love, and you make a difference. Thank you, Mental Health Matters.
Thank you,
Thank you, B. Thank you very much. That was very sweet.
Yes, very.
Oh, Jimena snuck in the chat. Hello, Jimena. How are you?
Saw her earlier.
Darcy says, John, do you watch Live on Patrol on YouTube? I'm trying to think of the name of the one.
Live on Patrol.
Oh gosh, Ben's got it one.
I don't watch that one, Ben. What is the one I watch? I can't remember the name of it. Oh crap.
Oh gosh, there's a ton of them, and
there are a bunch. Yeah, I probably don't watch just one, but
Live on Patrol. Yeah, give me a second. Live.
All I do is sit there going, come on, guys. Come on, girl.
T says, I'm scared to talk about things because I feel like I make it worse. Well, T, that's a very good point. And I think a lot of people feel like that. I don't want to burden you with my problems. You have enough of your own, or, there's so many things that we think of. I don't want to burden people with my problems. But you know what? If you know that someone is there for you and you're not burdening them, you know what I mean? They're going to tell you that. You're my friend. How many times have we had this conversation, Keela? You are my friend.
No matter what, T,
you hurt,
know that.
I hurt. You know what I mean? We're all empaths. So when one of us is hurting, all of us are hurting because we're feeling that pain with them.
Yeah.
So not sharing it isn't going to do you any good. It's just going to cause you more isolation.
I love you. I mean, literally, you know how close I love T. And I know that we're in different time zones and all that stuff. Yeah. You are always. I don't pick up my phone to call because I'm not sure when someone's working, when they're not. So I'll leave a message, But T, you need to talk about something. I'm here.
Facebook mom says, Deb, feeling helpless as a parent is such an awful place to be. When a parent's hug and get better kiss can't make them feel better anymore, it's a powerlessness so very profound. Yes, it is.
And I would just give peer support of some resources. I've posted them twice in the chat that Misha had. But if any of those resources can help you, to please, maybe it's time for professional.
Yeah, don't hesitate to reach out to him.
Yeah.
I think I'd like to end it on this note. Indigo says, the moment I started leaning on friends saying I wasn't fine, it was so freeing. I also got triggered because I almost lost 2 friends to deletion from 2022 to 2023.
Indigo, I'm so glad you said that. Thank you for that.
I'm proud of you. I really am. It's not an easy thing to do. It really isn't.
And that's not what we can
end for
on.
Doing it.
Oh, God, John, you better have this written down. No.
I do, but I don't have it in front of me, and I haven't memorized it yet.
Neither have I, obviously.
I
Go ahead,
should
Ben.
have it on a plaque. I should put it on a card and just put it right in front of me.
Go ahead, Ben.
Go back to what Voice Down Under said.
See.
That too, like unforgiveness, like trying to cover up insecurity, that too will leak. People will not know why. That's how empaths work. They pick up on body language a lot of times. They don't know why.
Yeah.
Because people are actually a lot more perceptive. It's just it's been kind of trained out of us.
It's trained out of us. Yeah. Absolutely.
50 years or so. But yeah.
But actually empaths are very memorize and remember everything. If we were paying it, like you said, if it wasn't trained out of us, not believed, things like that. Yeah.
Yep.
I'm going to say this. Growth isn't about changing who you are, but becoming the best version of yourself. And if it takes asking for help to do that, there is no shame in that.
Amen, sister. Amen. Thanks, everybody, for sticking around. I know this was kind of a long one and kind of a tough one, but it was important. One. It was very important. Thanks, Ben, for joining and taking time out of your busy weekend to be with us. Always great to have you.
Yes.
And Keela, you've been
guess what?
Very restrained in your opinions given the subject matter, and I'm very proud of you for that because I know this wasn't easy for you.
The struggle is real. You could see the red hair. You could feel the energy. You could just, but wow.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Okay.
And on that note,
I will say thank you all for the super chats and supporting the channel. A lot of these are not being monetized because I don't want them taken down.
Right.
So it's just going to be up to us to keep it going because I think this month is probably not going to be very many videos. I'm going to even try to give them a chance to take it down.
Yeah.
So thank you all for supporting the channel. It's truly appreciated.
Mitch says is that if anybody's up for it, Tiff is going to be holding a Google Meet at the end of this. If anybody wants to join, here's the link. And it's a little late for me on Saturday night, but I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your weekend. Thanks for thanks for joining us, everybody.
Yes,
and I hope you all have a wonderful evening. Thanks.
John, stay around for a minute. Ben, stay around for a minute. Okay.
All right.
Love you all.
Love you.